Welcome back. If you're still thinking, I can't homestead, I don't have land, this video is for you. Today we're going to break that myth and explore how you can homestead right where you are. Like I said in the last video, homesteading isn't about a location. It's about your mindset. You can homestead in an apartment, a suburban neighborhood, or a rural area with land. Start small and let your actions grow. So let's say you live in an apartment and you're wondering, what are some things that I could do to homestead? I don't have the land, I just can't homestead. Well, matter of fact, you can. For example, you could make something homemade once a week, or you could make all your meals homemade. You could switch from cleaners from the store to making your own cleaners at home. And a windowsill, you could start your own herb garden. Again, homesteading isn't about having land, it's about being self-sufficient and using the things around you. So you don't live in an apartment, but you don't live in the country, so you don't have a lot of land, but you have a backyard. What can I do? Well, you could raise chickens if you wanted and have fresh eggs. You could have raised garden beds, or you could start canning if you did the raised garden beds and use the fruit and vegetables from your garden to do any type of canning you wanted to do. If you're somebody that lives out in the country, you'd be what we consider rural homesteading. You're going to have a little bit more land and a little bit more freedom to what you can do with your homestead and what you can add to it. So just some examples of what you could do is you could get goats or bees, you could try composting, you could learn fence repair and basic carpentry and build your own fences, build your own sheds for all of your um, housing for all of your animals and just different things like that. Within rural homesteading, you're going to have a little bit more freedom to kind of dream a little bit bigger on the scale of things you can have, but that does not mean that just because you don't live in rural areas that you can't still dream big in your homestead. You do not need to go all in overnight. Just start with what you have. Small steps can equal a big change. And these steps could include just cooking one meal from scratch a week, mending something instead of replacing it, starting a pot of herbs. These different things build habits and confidence that can help you expand in your homesteading journey. Again, you don't gotta jump right in. You just gotta start somewhere. Let's talk about an example of something that you could start today. Let's make a homemade cleaner together. This is something that's small and you could start doing for your homemade aspect of life rather than buying it from the store to jumpstart into your homesteading journey. So the supplies you're going to need for this is a spray bottle. I have a 6 ounce one, but you can do bigger if you'd like. Just make sure you change the measurements, but keep the essential oil measurement the same. I'm going to use a third cup of water, a third cup of vinegar, a dropper, and about 10 drops of lavender oil. Screenshot this page. Alright, let's jump right in. Okay, so I took my cap off, and now I'm going to pour my third cup of water into my bottle. Try not to spill too terribly much of it. Then I'm going to grab my bottle of vinegar, pop the lid off, and I'm going to pour a third of a cup of that into my measuring cup. Again, try not to spill because we don't want to be wasteful. Then I'm going to pour that straight into my bottle. After that, I'm going to grab my essential oil and dropper, and I'm going to pull quite a bit of essential oil into my dropper. Not too much, but just enough so I know I can get enough. Then I'm going to count 10 drops into my spray bottle. And then put the rest back in the essential oil bottle because, again, we don't want to waste. Then I'm going to take my dropper and I'm just going to go ahead and stir it after I put my lid on. I just thought that was a little bit easier to get up in there and try to mix it together the best I can. Then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and put the bottle back on, give it a good little shake. And there we go. There's your homemade cleaner. That's going to conclude our video in starting where you are. I hope you learned a lot from this and realize again, homesteading isn't about your location, it is simply just your mindset. Next, we're going to talk about planning your homestead.